Yes, and coming back to this idea of being real and authentic. You know, that's one of the amazing things I found about dogs. When you go to the dog park and you watch dogs, they don't care if they're a big dog, a small dog. They don't care what color their coat is. They don't care what color their eyes are, whether their tail's being docked, or if they have big floppy ears or short little ears. They don't care about any of that stuff. And what's interesting is they are acting from their true, authentic character. Now, humans were different. We got these frontal lobes, these brains, and we overanalyze stuff. And what happens is we start putting on these shells and these fake identities, right? And all that kind of leads to separating ourselves from who we really are. And when I was younger, I had a lot of issues with drugs, a lot of issues with alcohol, and you start kind of sneaking around because back in the 70s, pot wasn't legal and so on. So you're sneaking around, and all of a sudden, you know, you're kind of putting on a false front. And pretty soon, you're doing all these things kind of behind the scenes, and it separates you from who you truly are. And maybe even people have been saying things to you. Oh, with our kids, if you have little girls, you're a princess. You got a little guy. Oh, there's my little man. Or there are other names people might say. They might say, oh, you're a druggie. You're a bum. You're a loser. You're no good. You're not worthy. You can't do this. And all this other sort of stuff. And initially, it doesn't do anything. But after many times and years, that's how you start thinking. And what's really interesting about that, your behavior will start becoming congruent to how you self-define. So if you tell yourself you're a good person, subconsciously you'll go about doing things to validate that. Whereas if you tell yourself, you know, I'm no good, I'm not worthy, I can't do it, your brain, and it doesn't make sense, but your brain will go about doing things to make it so that your behavior is congruent with your self-identity. Dogs don't do any of that kind of stuff. And what happens is we start getting distance from who we truly are. And then we develop this other really interesting thing in our life. And listen for your words on this. Maybe you're out there, you're talking, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, I don't know, but I should go do this thing, or maybe I should go do that other thing. That's the obligation. You're not acting really authentic and true and real at that point. You're doing things because you think they're the right things to do. Dogs don't do that. And that was a wonderful thing about having dogs in my life. Just learning how to simplify, but learning how to be and get back into touch with the real me, the true, authentic me. And I would suggest to you, maybe that's what you need to do. And I hear and talk to people, and you've met these people, right? Oh, I believe in animal rights. Okay, that's good, and you know, this, that, and the other, but you wear leather shoes. You got a leather belt. You got a leather coat. Interesting. And there's many other different examples like that. But the point is, I learned how to be closer and truer to being the real me, the authentic me. I'm not there yet, and it's something I think we're always working on, because my understanding is we are not static. We are not human beings. We're evolving. We are human becomings. And the amazing thing about our brain is we can kind of have a vision of the future, and we can set about and do the things to make that future, that vision we have, come into being. So we are human beings, my mistake on that. We're not human beings, we're human becomings. And I think as people, we can become closer and truer to being our true and authentic selves.